Well, welcome to Amazon Seller Insights. This is a meetup that we have once a month. And what I do is I bring in an expert, someone who's crushing it on Amazon, to basically come in and share their knowledge, share their nuggets of information, and really just hopefully you guys can learn from that and use that to inspire and grow your own Amazon business. So I'm super excited. I think this is episode 11. If you haven't checked out the other ones, go to Amazon Seller Insights Facebook group. I think we have it on YouTube as well. You can go there and check out some of the other episodes. But I'm super excited to have Ryan Rigney all the way from San Diego. Yeah. So Ryan has been selling on Amazon for a while. I think he's pushing over 200,000 a month on Amazon right now, which is amazing, obviously. He's a lawyer as well. So if you have any lawyer questions,
no.
Stop. No. So if you have lawyer questions, don't ask him and don't ask me for sure, because that's not a good idea at all. But part of his success has been to focus on growing and creating an audience outside of Amazon, and he's used that in a big way to scale his business. And what we're going to dive into today is specifically those types of strategies, like what's your processes, what's your strategies around creating and nurturing audiences outside of Amazon. So we can touch on a lot of that. We can also touch on a bunch of other things. He's a super expert there. So yeah, I'm excited to have you here today. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks. And everyone who came out, really appreciate it. A lot of faces I recognize, actually. So I guess I'll just go into what made me start selling on Amazon and take it from there. Right?
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of people here don't know you, so do a little bit of your background and specifically, like, if there was an event or some reason why you focused on creating an audience outside of Amazon, I think that would be a great place to start.
Yeah, so I have about 10 years or so experience with marketing online. Back in high school, I actually started affiliate marketing, which is where you refer people to buy other softwares or products. One of the first affiliate networks I actually joined was the Amazon Associates Network back in like 2008 or 9. I made a bunch of mini websites and ranked for keywords. So I had some experience with SEO and ranking in Google, so I understand the importance of writing quality content, building backlinks, and how organic traffic can really make you a lot of money if you do it right.
Right.
So I started a website. I sold Lady Gaga wigs. Actually, I referred people to Amazon to buy that. And it was Halloween, and I was the only website that had this in place.
Wait, why those wigs?
There was no website up, and a lot of people were searching for it. So I made a website with 2 pages, and started making a couple $100 a day with it. So that got me kind of hooked on marketing and the idea that you can make money online. And so that sort of that worked, and then I had another. That sort of died actually after about 3 or 4 months. Didn't have staying power, so I understood how fragile a business can be online if you're dependent on one source of traffic or income. So Google de-ranked my website because I was using some black hat techniques that weren't so legitimate, and the money sort of dried up overnight, right? So that sort of planted the seed of understanding the importance of diversifying traffic sources to me. I had a couple other ventures in between there where I referred a bunch of people to, they're called CPA networks, where you do cost per action. You get people to submit zip codes. I used Facebook marketing to do that. It wasn't Facebook ads, because that actually didn't exist back then, I don't think. But I was able to make posts go viral and get CPA submissions. So I have experience marketing and getting people to actually take action on specific items. So, but that also didn't stay. That crashed and burned pretty fast. I made quite a bit doing it, but after that, I sort of just gave up on selling anything online for a couple of years until I went to undergrad and all that stuff. I found Amazon through, it was actually Brian Moran, if anybody is familiar with him.
Sure.
He used to do affiliate marketing as well. I was on his list, and he sent an email about selling on Amazon. I just kind of tried to figure it out on my own. First product I launched was a silicone baking mat. It was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Good choice.
It was a really bad choice, yeah. So it didn't work. I about broke even on it, luckily, but I learned a lot of lessons from that experience. One of those lessons, was have a unique selling proposition. Don't just sell the same thing that the best sellers are already selling at a higher price. Like, that's not going to work. So I never did that again. And after that failure, I went into a less crowded niche, I would say. Picked a product that kind of had a higher barrier of entry than the silicone baking mat. Invested my student loans into this product. I was in law school at the time, so that's not the best use of your money, but it luckily turned out. Otherwise, I'd not be here today. I'd be somewhere else. So yeah, my brand gradually started picking up some steam. I've got 10 ASINs now under the brand. I focused really heavily on. At first, I did the traditional launch methods of like giving away as many products as you can on there's a service called Unicorn Smasher or something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the launch platform was called. It's called.
I think it's AMZ Tracker.
AMZ Tracker, yeah. That was one of the first ones to do that. I gave away a lot of products doing that, and that used to work for ranking, and then it kind of stopped working at some point. Maybe I wasn't following the data correctly. I didn't have the right keyword tools to analyze the search traffic because they didn't really exist back then. But the launches weren't working, so I started thinking, how else can I get people to buy my products? Facebook was coming up as an advertising platform. I started diving into that, making landing pages. This is like before anyone was really talking about it, because I was in these other Facebook groups that were driving traffic to landing pages, so I kind of had that background experience of doing it, and I was able to get my products to rank doing that. So that's kind of what triggered this whole thing. And now I don't use launch services anymore. I do all my launches through Facebook traffic and influencers, really. In that combination with the audience that I've accumulated from the previous ones. So that works really well. It works better for me than using a launch service where you're giving out your products to people that are probably just going to jump on your listing and hijack you. With like ZonGuru in particular, a lot of people I've worked with and spoken to, they use that, and then after they do their launch, they have 5 to 10 sellers selling their same product at a discount. And then, like, how are you supposed to rank when you've got people screwing up your listing, right? So when you have your own audience of customers that are from Facebook, they're not looking to resell products; they're looking to use them. So you can actually build a real audience and contact them and kind of build a snowball to build your brand for future launches, and it just sort of keeps growing as you keep investing in the ads, investing in building the audience. So that's what I do, and that's what I try to tell others to do as well.
It's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you're far ahead of the trend, trying things and getting into spaces before a lot of us sellers are even getting there, because that's one of the hottest topics now is how to create an audience outside of Amazon. But there's definitely different reasons and different benefits to creating an audience outside of Amazon. One, obviously for launches, there's nurturing, there's a bunch of stuff. Maybe just for the guys here and listening, what are some of your top reasons why you think it's a really good idea? There's many strategies, right? So right now I could be just sitting on Amazon and growing and scaling by launching more brands and just focusing on Amazon. That's one strategy. But what's some of the benefits of doing it the way you do it, which is creating that audience outside?
Yeah, so I approach building my brand with the end in mind. I'm thinking, what will an acquiring party want to pay for? Are they going to want to buy an account that has 5 to 6 unrelated brands under it? Or are they going to want to buy an account that has 10 products that are all cross-promotable? You've got an established audience list that wants to buy those products. And every time you launch a product, they're basically banging the door down to try it first. So the benefit of having all of your advertising dollars going towards building one brand and having that audience that you can contact is when you launch a product, you don't have to go ask your friends and family. You don't have to go to Facebook review groups that will get you banned. You just send them an email saying, we're launching this in 2 weeks. If you want to get it at a discount, reply to this email, and we'll send you we'll let you know when the deal's live, and then you've got a list of a couple hundred people interested, and then those are your first buyers. Those are the people that are going to leave like really positive reviews for you, because if they're on your list, if they're not hitting unsubscribe, they're going to, for the most part, leave 4 or 5 star reviews. You don't get very many 1-star reviews from people that are taking you up on the deal, that have bought from you in the past. So I think that's a lot easier way to launch a product than to cheat your way to get those reviews and then just throw as much money as you can at PPC. Like PPC is something I do use and everyone should be investing in as well. But getting reviews from customers that will pay closer to full price rather than a discount, you get verified reviews and you can get them quickly, that helps you launch more products. That's why I've been able to launch 10 products, and for the most part, they all work.
And yeah, so the launching side is obviously critical, but what's your experience of, you've created this engaged audience that obviously is brand ambassadors for your brand. What about upselling or nurturing? Talk a little bit about that aspect, and how do you actually do that? Do you do that on Amazon, or do you do it off of like a Shopify website, something separate? So talk about that a bit.
Yeah, so you're very limited in what you can do on Amazon. So that's one of the key benefits of having an audience outside of Amazon, because you can email a person outside of Amazon every day of the year, and you're not going to get penalized by Amazon because they don't see that. That's not something they can regulate. So if you have somebody who you say, for example, you have a Facebook ad, you do a launch of a product on Facebook, they buy from you at a discount. After you send them the discount code while they're waiting for their product to arrive, you can send them an ebook over mini chat or email and say, here's how to use your product when it arrives. Let us know what you think. Then 12, 14 days later, you can follow up and say, did you get it? How'd you like the product? Let us know. Reply to this email. We'll give you a discount off your next product, next purchase. A lot of people will respond if they liked it, and you can follow up and get reviews, and then you sort of, by building this communication and keeping in contact with the customers, delivering value when they don't ask for it, that builds that feeling of reciprocity, and they want to continue to buy from you. They want to tell their friends how well this brand treated me. The product's good, customer service is good. They seem to really care about my experience. So that's I do believe in nurturing the customers that you have. Focus more on the customers you've already converted rather than only trying to go out and get new ones.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys heard Raj talk a few weeks ago, but one of the genius things that he explained to us is that he uses his Amazon product as a lead magnet to then sell them on a subscription business later. So that's a really great way to, if you've got an engaged audience, sell them an Amazon product, but then with the follow-up, be like, hey, do you want to have this subscription product together with the product that you bought from us? So there's many, and that the valuation of your company obviously goes through the roof from that perspective. So that's a good idea.
And I do have subscription products on Shopify as well. And
awesome.
When I get the lead on ManyChat, which is a chatbot, if you guys aren't familiar, I've been using chatbots to grow my audience over the past year. You can have little links in the menu that one goes to your website, one goes to Amazon, one goes to contact customer support. Those are really the only 3 links you need. That will get you sales on Shopify when people are finding you through your ads and you're promoting your Amazon launch. If they don't like Amazon for whatever reason, and it makes them aware. And when they go to your website, they get pixeled, and that audience of people that have pixels firing, which is basically Facebook's way of tracking the actions people take on domains. So when they go to your landing page, when they go to Shopify, it gradually builds up a pixeled audience, which you can later retarget for your ads and hit them again with the next launch. Or if you just want to send them some free bonus, or just make them aware that you've got a small discount going on, you can do that as well.
So yeah, so that's a good kind of segue. Let's maybe get into some of your really specific strategies that you use. Now I know that you have an influencer strategy, you have obviously your mini chats, Facebook Messenger strategy, you have your Facebook ads, a couple of other ones. So maybe let's pick one and maybe you can take us through, how do you set it up? What's your process? Maybe we start with like the YouTube influencer one. That's a good start.
Yeah, so over the past, let's say 5-6 months, I've really been investing a lot in getting YouTube influencers to either link to my products or make a new video that is specifically created to rank in YouTube for keywords. So, if you sell exercise equipment, like stretchy band for your legs, for example, there are people going to YouTube to search for like workout videos for that type of thing. So one strategy that I've been implementing is I have a VA go to, they type in the search queries that people are looking for when they use these products, and these like workout videos will have like hundreds of thousands of views, and they don't have any links in the bio. You can pay these influencers like a pretty small amount of money considering how much traffic they're getting, and with a simple contract you can get them to sign for the most part a couple $100. You can link to either a landing page that goes to your product at a discount, or you can link directly to your Amazon listing. And the reason you do this is when you have sales coming from outside of Amazon, it sends more positive signals to the Amazon algorithm, which will boost your rankings for various keywords. You can target specific keywords if you want, or you can just link straight to the listing, and that will help as well.
So can we break that down a little bit further? Because I think, in theory that sounds great, but how do you actually, like, where do you get your VA? What is the actual steps that you tell them to do in terms of, like, maybe a little bit more detail on that specific step?
Yeah, so for the VA, you can get those on FreeUp. It's FreeUp with 3 E's. That works pretty well for me. One of my best VAs is from Upwork.com, but you have to really vet them. So by that, I just mean you want somebody that's speaking English as a first language for the most part, because if they don't, there's just so many typos, and it doesn't seem legitimate when you're trying to get US influencers to work with your brand. It looks like you're possibly cutting corners and hiring overseas, and just doesn't represent your brand very well, I think. So the pay between $13 and $20 an hour, you can usually get pretty good help for that. I pay in that range. So the process is, you have to understand how the YouTube algorithm works as well, to some extent. So it's a search space. It's a search engine basically. People go to YouTube, they search for something, and people rank. It's kind of like Amazon in that regard. The people that rank are the ones that have videos that are optimized for keywords, and there are people that have good viewership on the video, as well as engagement on the video. So the couple of different parameters I look for are how many subscribers does the person making the video have. If they have a couple thousand, that's the minimum usually. So there's 2 different strategies you could take. You could contact somebody who already has a video that's ranking, and you could pay them to insert a link in their bio and just use the existing video and say, this is my recommended exercise band. Go to the landing page, there's a discount. Just have the link in the bio. That can get you a couple sales a day, generally, if the video's getting a couple thousand views.
So it's just like a generic video that they've already created, but then you just tell them, hey, say, we recommend this product.
Doesn't even have to have your product. They can't even see the product brand for the most part.
Right.
And they're just like, I want exercise bands like that. Where do I get those? And they'll look in the bio, they trust this influencer. There's a discount. It's like, they go to a landing page, and then the landing page is going to pixel all of their audience. It's going to capture their audience's email addresses, and on the thank you page for the landing page, you can just link them out to whatever keyword you want to target, or you could just not target any keyword. You tell them to search for something.
So on that, like, let's say you get that link. Give me a general range of like how much traffic or how many customers that drive into your audience list that you can actually create from that. So one link, what are you looking at?
Yeah, so I paid $400 to an influencer that had 70,000 subscribers. So she wasn't really monetizing her audience at all, just other than AdSense, which is how people get paid on YouTube. So that's a really good sign that they're not going to require too much in terms of payment if they're not linking out to affiliate programs. They just have generic text in their bio or the description rather. So I found her 70,000 subscribers. She was making relevant videos, and I just said, here, you know, I'll send you free product and $400 if you make a basic, you know, product demo video of this. And you insert, I want you to insert these specific keywords in the title of the video, because I know by doing keyword research on Google, which they have a keyword planner, which is free, you can see which keyword terms are getting the most searches. So you tell her, put this in the title, and then once she releases the video, she's got the subscriber base. She gets a couple thousand views instantly, and it ranks, and then it has sticking power. So over the coming weeks and months, you'll get a couple thousand views per day. So I did that one 6 months ago. Video has 120,000 views now. Gets 2 to 3 sales per day from that video, $400. So, and that's like, could last for years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing is it's evergreen content like YouTube. You know, once you have it on there, it's kind of like SEO, it just keeps coming back, you know?
Yeah. So you get 3 sales per day through whatever keyword you select, sends positive signals to Amazon. So not only do you get those 3 sales per day, you don't have to pay anything for that traffic in the future, and it's also going to organically increase your rank.
So it's like it's a halo effect, right? So you're driving that traffic, you're getting those 3 sales, plus it's the algorithm's boosting the rest of your business, and you're getting more sales from that. So it's
and your competitors aren't doing it, so you're sending these signals from several directions. YouTube, several videos possibly, they're not doing it. You're going to rank better than them, you can charge more. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great strategy. Okay, so that's YouTube, and guys, if you have questions on that, we will come to a Q&A at the end, so you know we can come back to this topic, but maybe let's switch over to the ManyChat and the Facebook Messenger side. I'm sure there's a lot of questions there around how do you create it, how do you create the coupon codes, etc., etc. So any thoughts there?
Yeah, so it's kind of changed in the last couple of days here. There's a new option out there. The thing that most people have struggle with is sending unique coupon codes. If anyone's tried on ManyChat, you have to use Zapier. It's a very technically involved process. But you know, ZonPages has a new tool that can help you distribute unique coupon codes, and it actually integrates with ManyChat. You don't even have to use ZonPages; it just directly syncs your codes with ManyChat. So that might be the easiest way to do it now. I haven't done it yet because I haven't had time. But essentially, what you can do is you just run a Facebook video ad, you know, like under 30 seconds. Doesn't even have to be fancy. And if you have an established customer audience, like say you're doing a product launch, and you need 150 sales over the course of 8 days. Depends which launching method you're using, obviously, right? So there's a CPR launch method that most Amazon sellers are familiar with. I assume from Helium 10, they kind of promoted that. Maybe other places have talked about it as well. But you basically just have to get a certain number of sales, you know, every day consistently for 8 days. Or you could do it in a 1-day launch, which is another method where you figure out the total number that you need for that 8 to 10 day period. You do it all in a 24-hour period. That one's easier with ManyChat. Basically what you do is you just build up a launch list before you're ready to go. And you can segment the audience based on day, or you can just do it all in one chunk and do a 1-day launch and just say, I need 150 redemptions. I'm going to send out 215 codes on Tuesday. You pre-frame them a little bit with the chatbot. You say Tuesday, code's going to be live, watch your inbox. And that's the gist of it, but I don't know if I answered your question.
No, that's great. I think you know the latest that we've seen is from a launch strategy is that actually doing it consistently over 8 to 15 days is a way better way to rank than pushing it all on one day. Yeah. That's what we find. Yeah. But maybe on the messenger side, you know, maybe a good thing to talk about is your sequential messaging and how do you actually, because if you guys are familiar, I'm sure you are with Facebook Messenger, and the way it works here is you would say, hey, you click on this ad, you know, and it takes you through the messenger, you basically redeem something there, and now you're in a messenger follow-up sequence with ManyChat, and so you'll get certain messages. So maybe talk a little bit about how do you actually sequential your messaging to those customers.
Okay. So you mean like the 8-day, like whole entire sequence? Or
Yeah, or do you, I mean, I suppose there could be examples where you say, hey, buy this product for the launch, but hey, you know, join this email list. Like, how do you nurture that customer?
Yeah, well, I mean, it starts with a Facebook ad, and it's either like I would call them hot leads, like people who have purchased from you before. So you can import, you know, your Amazon customers into Facebook, target them. That's one audience. That usually should be one that you target for a launch, but you don't want to always hit them with discounts. You want to kind of use it sparingly because they're going to pay full price, so don't always hit them with discounts. But to some extent, it helps you build engagement on the ad, and it gives you a cheaper ad cost if people are commenting, liking, sharing the ad. So that's like one target, and then the other would be like a lookalike audience based on that, or some specific interest group that's very relevant that you've seen. Like, this is my target customer. This is who buys from me, and you can like dissect the data on Facebook, see who's engaging with your ads, which demographic is most likely to engage. So how do you nurture them? You just do a basic, video ad that shows the product being used. You can say, if you're doing a launch, here's 90% off, click send message, and we'll put you on the launch list, and we'll let you know when it's live. There's only 100 codes available. Say something like that, put some scarcity in there. When they opt in, you don't want to just say, get ready, we're going to send you the code. You want to also tell them about the product if they want to know about it. If you have an influencer who's shot a video going over the product, you can say, check out this video while you wait. This is so-and-so on YouTube using the product, and she recommends it. Check out the video, and then we'll contact you on Tuesday. So that's one way. It establishes some social proof. It shows somebody who has a lot of subscribers, engagement, using your product. It's going to increase your conversion rate if you have that. If you don't have that, you can even just include screenshots of like reviews. Show some social proof there. So we've got 15 5-star reviews, perfect 5-star product. Get ready for the 90% off deal. This is the only time we're doing this, something like that. That will increase your redemption rates as well. So any sort of like assets that you have that show your products being generally used or liked by the public is going to help you, rather than just sending them a discount and saying like, I'll be in touch. So that's what I see a lot of people struggle and not implement very effectively.
Gotcha. Okay, so Facebook Messenger, guys, if you have questions on that, we can come back to that as well. What about offline tactics like product inserts? And what is your, they've obviously bought one of your products already. What is your tactic there to get them into, an audience that you have offline as well, or out of Amazon?
Yeah, and it really depends on what you're selling. If you're selling consumables, you've got people that are buying the same product up to 20 times, right? So a discount code is going to be more effective than a warranty. You don't really need a warranty for a supplement. If you're selling electronics, a lifetime warranty is pretty standard, opt-in, lead magnet. But something I found pretty effective for when you have several products in your line, or you have a product that they were going to buy a lot. When you launch the products, make your insert, give them a really large discount, like 50% off their next purchase. This is what a lot of these sellers are doing in competitive spaces. They'll actually say, get your next product 100% free as a lead magnet. And the reason they can afford to do that is the reviews are so valuable to them that they're willing to pay that as a marketing expense. So, I've seen like the largest supplement companies out there giving out free bottles as a lead magnet. So anyone who goes to their domain, they do some other tactics in there as well to really incentivize them to leave the review. Like say, send us a screenshot of your review and we'll send you the free bottle, which is not what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because, but if you buy from a lot of these large companies, you'll see them doing that. What I do is I give like closer to a break-even discount. I say on the thank you page, while you're waiting for us to send you the discount, leave a review, we really appreciate it. And that's pretty effective. You're not going to get everybody, but you're also not losing a lot of money on the product costs. And it's pretty strong lead magnet, so if your product's good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it does absolutely depend on the product. And So what I've also seen is people who have repeat purchases, they like to drive traffic to their Shopify site, and they usually discount the product enough so that it's cheaper than Amazon Subscribe and Save. So now you're nurturing an audience that will repeat purchase off of your website rather than Amazon. So at least you're diversifying your risk, so you're not all dependent on Amazon, which is a key strategy here.
Yeah. A lot of people will just go over and buy from your website even if you don't tell them to. Should be close to 10% if you're getting a lot of repeat customers. They'll go over to your website. Price of product is slightly cheaper. They'll go over there. But you don't want to necessarily drive a lot of traffic away from Amazon at the same time, because these customers, when they buy, they're going to feed the Amazon algorithm. You're going to sell a lot more on Amazon. So it's almost like you want to diversify, but at the same time you want to go all in on what's working. So there's a lot of risk on Amazon. Like, you get shut down. There's not as much risk when they're subscribed to Shopify, because you can't get shut down if you have a subscription-based product. But there's risk on the Shopify side as well as the Amazon side. If you're driving most of your sales from Shopify and you're branching out to Amazon, like in reverse order of most people here, Facebook ad costs are going to be like the linchpin to your success. If the ad costs go up, where are you going to get your sales from? You have to go to YouTube ads, Google ads. So Amazon is risky, but the other platforms are also risky in other ways.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good point, and people have to remember that Amazon is your highest converting website in the world. Your conversion rate there, people are going there to buy products. They're not necessarily going to find your Shopify site and buy from there. So it's a really good strategy to obviously do Amazon first, and most importantly, do it right. You've got to make sure that if your product's not really selling well on Amazon, that doesn't mean that you should be going off of Amazon and starting a Shopify site and doing all these other tactics. Get Amazon right first and then branch from out there. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people getting distracted, myself included. I spent a while. I need to drive more sales to Shopify, but then at the same time, like, my Amazon rankings would start to drop. So I'm like, what do I do? And it seemed like the easiest way for me was, I'm an expert in Amazon, so let me just get all these keywords on Amazon to rank. I'm going to get a halo effect. People are going to go to Shopify and buy, and at the end of the day, I make more money. But at the same time, I do some stuff on Shopify. Like Google Shopping, you can't really target that to Amazon. It has to go through your Shopify site, right? So.
But it's a progression, right? It's not where you start. It's like
you don't go there from day one.
Yeah.
There's so much to know to rank and do well on Amazon that, like, if you're not absolutely killing it with all your ASINs, and you shouldn't even consider wasting your time.
Yeah. So talking Amazon, maybe name your 5 best nuggets or hacks or things that people really need to get right from your experience.
Yeah, the biggest issue is product selection, right? That usually the problems stem from selecting a bad keyword tool. The data is not accurate, or taking product selection advice from somebody who talks about a product on a podcast or in a Facebook group, or you need to do product selection based on data that's accurate. So, like, ZonGuru is one software option, Helium 10 is another one, Seller Tools is another one. There are a couple of accurate ones, and then the other ones I've seen lead people astray. So the keyword estimates can be off by like a factor of 10 in some cases, and I'll have people message me and like, Ryan, I ranked number 2 for this keyword. It gets 100,000 exact searches, but I'm only getting 2 sales a day. Like, what am I doing wrong? And it's like, I just go straight to the keyword, plug it into the software, and it's like, okay, that's what you're doing wrong. You ranked. That's why it was so easy to rank. Nobody wants to rank for that. That's the biggest issue. The other issue is not really investing in product images, and you don't always need photography. Sometimes 3D renders, for most products I see 3D renders look better and they're cheaper to get done. And people don't all know what 3D renders are, but it's basically just a photorealistic representation of the product. And you'll see like exercise equipment, supplements, beauty products. They'll have a slight shine to them. they'll just look so crisp, and they're like, how are they doing this? They're rendering it on a computer, and some people are so good at it that it actually looks better than photographs. So that can really help your conversion rate. People don't invest in the images. The other thing, people launch too many brands rather than thinking of their strategy from like a holistic approach from the get-go. You want to have like 3 to 5 products at least that a brand can sell, so that you can really take advantage of frequently bought together boxes. If you have a competitor on a frequently bought together box, then I think you're not doing your job 100% right. If you have several products, you should be launching products that are frequently bought together. That's a significant source of traffic, and when you combine 5 products and they're all linked, frequently bought together across the board, that can really build a substantial amount of sales for you.
So let's talk a little bit about that in terms of your process and strategy around frequently bought together. You obviously launch a product, it's doing fantastically. Talk through the process of how you actually select your next product based on frequently bought together.
Yeah, so first thing is just understanding your customer, what they're buying. The other thing is really looking on Amazon, seeing Amazon will tell you what people are looking for before or after they buy your product. And sometimes you'll have a competitor with another related product popping up. A lot of the time I just sell that thing that's popping up by default. Or you can go to yasib.com, YASIB.com, and it will actually show you all of the products that people are buying in relation to like specific. So you can enter your ASIN and it will say like, this is what they're shopping for, this is what they're shopping for. So you at least know a percentage of them are interested in that. If it's under your brand, it doesn't even need to be like the most logical step. You can still get the frequently bought together box if it's not 100% matched, because you have an audience list outside of Amazon, and what you can do is you can just send them a coupon when they buy both together, and you can kind of like force your way into that box if you're not getting it. Or even just when you launch your next product, a lot of people will buy the other one and you'll pop up automatically. The other thing, strategically using coupons. So on your listing, you have several places you can advertise your coupons. It's all like special offers and promotions. Mm-hmm. So look at what some of the big brands are doing. They'll really draw attention to that area. They'll say, buy this and buy this, get 20% off. If you really do your work and draw attention to those areas, you can also increase the chance that you're going to get frequently bought together. Awesome. You can do it in your images as well. So.
Oh yeah, like your third image or whatever, and say, hey, there's a discount for this or this coupon.
Yeah, so image, audience, and promotions box. Use all those 3 together, you're pretty likely to pull it off.
Gotcha. Yeah, and going back to the keyword thought there around product research, guys, if you are targeting certain keywords and you think there's a lot of search volume, make sure you're looking at your top 10 competitors and seeing if they have that keyword and where they're placing that keyword within their listing. Because if you think this keyword is going to drive a bunch of traffic, but they don't even have it anywhere in their listing, it's probably a dud to a degree. So you've got to make sure you do that research properly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you covered it.
Okay, so those are some of your nuggets in terms of Amazon. Maybe a couple of mistakes to avoid.
Okay. So try to avoid products that are fads. Not all of my products have been successful. One of the products I launched like 3 years ago, it sort of like had a downward spiral of death, like 2 months after I launched it. And I'd say the reason I failed on that was a combination of it being a trend and also not investing in the packaging sufficiently, because I was trying to cut costs. So if all your competitors are using premium boxes, if you say, this is my first experiment into the market, and I don't want to waste too much money, let me just have my supplier supply the box, whatever it is, it's fine. That you're not going to be competitive. So you think you're saving money, but you're actually costing yourself more. So investing in packaging that's something a lot of people try to skimp on. So, and that also will impact the quality of your images. If your packaging is poor, you can't represent superior packaging, and they get out crap in the mail. So.
Yeah, and I mean, packaging is a big one, and it's a halo effect as well, because if packaging adds to the brand experience. So if you're a customer and you've got a great box and a brand, you get that much of a better experience from the product, and therefore you get more reviews and you get the rest that comes with it. So really invest in that packaging. And one of the things that I really focus on is when I'm creating a brand and creating the packaging, I don't just compare it to brands on Amazon. I'll compare it to the best brands in the world, and I'll put them on a page and I say, can my brand stand out and be as competitive and as beautiful as every single other brand that's on this, the top 5 in the world? And that's a standard you guys should be aiming for when you launch your product on Amazon.
Yeah, same for product inserts. Look at what Dollar Shave Club's doing. Look at what Allbirds is doing. Brands in e-commerce that are dominating, and they're having a large retention of customers. You want to see what sort of messaging they're giving them when they get the package. What does the insert look like? Is it you don't want to just have an insert that says leave us a review, because why would a customer do that? They're not going to inconvenience themselves to help you. Everyone's selfish. They want to just get a benefit for themselves, and then maybe if you help them after that, they'll do you a favor. But don't ask for a review right when they get the package. Like, they need to try it first. They're going to throw that thing away. So.
Yeah, show them that you understand who they are, that you understand that they're passionate about this product and this product category. One of the best things to do is to say, hey, if you want more information on this product or this category, go to my website where you can download this information, and just show them that you recognize them as a passionate consumer of your product, and obviously you'll get email addresses and everything else from that as well. So
yeah, echo that.
Yeah. Okay, so you were talking about trends there, and obviously not buying trendy products. Buying trendy products is a mistake. But what are some of the big trends that you're seeing on Amazon today?
Positive or negative trends?
Both, yeah.
I see a lot of, in the competitive spaces, I see a lot of ASIN variation manipulation. So like sellers will list a product on an ASIN that doesn't have a product for sale anymore, and say it has 100 positive reviews, but it's like a Trader Joe's lunchbox or something that hasn't been for sale for the last 4 years. But whatever software they're using, they scan Amazon. They'll find these ASINs that have a lot of positive reviews. They'll list their product on that ASIN, and then right out of the gate, they have 100 5-star reviews. So I'm competing against people that are doing that. And Amazon is slow to enforce anything against them. You don't want to do this, but I'm pretty sure it's against terms of service, my based on my interpretation.
100%.
But if you squash them, they're back 2 days later. So I'm seeing a trend of people finding more ways to manipulate their reviews like that. But hopefully that stops soon. The other the positive trend for me, because I've been investing in it, is I see the Amazon algorithm taking more focus on getting legitimate purchases from real buyers. So Amazon they have access to the buyer's history across the entire history of their account. If they see an account has received 90% off discounts, and that's all they've ever purchased, they're going to look at that. Is my assumption, and based on my anecdotal experience from working with people, that they're not going to let those reviews count for one, and I think that has a less impact on the ranking as well. So if you have low quality customers that aren't buying at full price, they don't have a real legitimate established purchase history, it's not going to help you as much. So that's one reason why I think it's a transition away from launch services that have a set pool of customers that just get discounts. You need to find customers that are actually buying stuff on the side as well. So some of these people in these launch services, they have accounts just for buying stuff at a discount and reselling it. So if 10%, 20% of your buyer pool consists of these people, it's going to mess your launch up.
Yeah, it's a really important point, and it's a hot topic at the moment. I think they've even noticed that if you're doing a launch strategy and the buyers who are buying your products, are all buying at a discount and they're only reviewing the ones that are at discounts, the algorithm can actually flag that buyer, as a negative, negative mark on your account, and it can be pretty cancerous, I would say, and actually hurt your launch in a big way. So you've got to be really careful about lists these days. And so, all the stuff that Ryan's talking about in terms of, looking at ways of having an audience outside of Amazon is going to become more and more important as you launch and grow your products, for sure.
Yeah, and if you're collecting an audience from YouTube, for example, that is more willing to pay full price because you've been recommended by an influencer, and you can build up that list of people that are willing to pay closer to full price. When you launch, you supplement your launch with lighter discounts from those people that are willing to buy closer to full price. That's going to send more positive signals. So I'm not saying 100% launch searches don't work, because some of them do, and there's evidence that they do. But at the same time, I think it works better if you have a combination of traffic sources and consistent sales rather than blast at 90% off. You might, for example, want to send an email to your list of 1,000 people that you collected from YouTube over the past few months, send them a 10% off discount. A large portion of those are buying. It's going to help you rank. So that's where the direction I see it going in. People should be focusing more on diversifying traffic.
Yeah, and it's a cycle, because if you really do a great job about selecting the right products, you do a great job at differentiating your products and creating your products, your launch is going to be that much more successful. You don't need these big, massive launch lists and all that kind of stuff. So, really take it back to the very first step that you take in this business and make sure you do everything right and to the best of your ability, and you should be successful for sure. Yeah. Cool. So I'm gonna hand it over to you guys in a second. We'll go through some Q&A and then we'll wrap it up with a couple of announcements. But maybe just from my side, what's next for you? What's the next big adventure? Where's your focus?
So I sort of split my time 50% between coaching people, 50% between my e-commerce stuff. I didn't include my day job in there, so I don't know where that fits, but it's in there somewhere. So I've had time to do these two things while still working. So my focus, I would say, I want to build the brand to 8 figures maybe in the next 2 years. I don't think it's going to happen in 1 year, because I don't want to take out a massive loan to accomplish that. I don't think it's necessary. Keep the margins consistently high, launch products to my established audience, and then maybe 6-7 products from now I'll be where I want to be. That's, I think, long term.
And where's the vacation going to be once you hit that?
Vacation after that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been on one in a while.
Yeah, no. Okay, great. Well, yeah, thanks for that. So I'm going to hand it over to you guys. We've got a microphone right here, so fire away any questions. I mean, Ryan's got some very, very deep knowledge on some great topics here. So any questions you guys have, microphone. Thank you.
Hey Ryan, thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for coming.
2 quick questions. One is, we're struggling with where is the best place to first drive the traffic to a landing page on our website where we've got their email address and then push them into ManyChat, or capture them first in ManyChat and then push them into giving up their email address. And I'd like your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I think if you're doing a launch, you want to focus on the chatbot because it's easier to get them to take a quick action than it is over an email. So the way the launches work, you need more predictable sales volume. If you collect a list of emails, the email open rates are under 30%. If you're lucky, chatbot open rates are 90% plus. So, if you want to consistently get 20 sales a day, you're sending emails to accomplish that. It's hard, right? If you're sending chatbots, 90% of those people are going to open, and you get a pretty significant portion of them to take action. It's also so I'm going to kind of like keep going because it's kind of I could talk about it a long time on it. But so with chatbots, it's easier to track actions that the user is taking. So you can track actions in email, but it's a lot more streamlined. So you can say after 3 hours, you can follow up with them and say, did you purchase the product? Like yes or no. If they click yes, then you know they're a confirmed buyer. You can follow up with them 2 weeks later. On email, a lot of people just aren't clicking links. So the open rates are low and the link clicks are low, so you're not really getting much information back on what actions are being taken. So you can push people to email from the chatbot after the whole process is over if you want. That's possible. Or you can ask them, for the email before then. I wouldn't rush it though. There need to have an incentive to get the email. I don't like putting too much friction in the whole process. So if you opt them in, then you say you need to give your email before we give you a discount, then might have some sort of drop-off rate. And I don't want to create that friction necessarily. So I would do Facebook ads to ManyChat and then focus on the email afterwards. That's my personal preference. Yeah.
Great. Next question. We have a decent-sized email list. How do we? What's your recommended best method to get them to subscribe to our manager?
So there's a messenger reference URL in ManyChat that it's a link. You can send them a link from the email. You can incentivize them to click that link. I've done that before to build up the audience. So if you have a launch coming up, or you have some sort of discount, or you have an article that you want people to read. So I think the best way is an incentive like a discount. So you say, we're giving 90% off to people who click this link and subscribe to us on Facebook Messenger. And then that would instantly send a lot of them over. The other way is import the email audience into Facebook as a custom audience. So you can target those people with ads. And, hit them with news articles on your website, like top 5 ways to burn fat this summer. Send them a link. Target a link email list. That's the way you get people on the chatbot.
That always works.
Perfect.
Top 5 ways to lose weight.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool.
Couple of questions there.
Yeah, thank you for being here as well. So I have 2 questions. One's more straightforward. As far as landing pages go, I know there's Landing Cube, there's AMZ Promoter. Do you have any personal preference or why?
So I know the founder of AMZ Promoter, Josh. So his platform's pretty good. Landing Cube I haven't used personally. I've seen some people drop off of that one lately for various issues. I didn't really get the gist of what the problem was. AMZ Promoter is pretty solid. ZonPages is pretty solid. The reason I like ZonPages is they have a lot of other tools that you get. So one tool they give you is a URL rotator. So what this URL rotator can do is you can insert a bunch of different keywords, and when you link people to Amazon, it can cycle through the keywords based on a percentage you give it. So you want to rank for 5 keywords, send them a URL rotator with 5 keywords in it. And you can also pixel people when they click that link. So anyone who clicks the link, they're added to your Facebook pixel audience. And you can also do Google as well. URL rotator. So it's like it gets the job done as far as landing pages are concerned. It has other tools that are also helpful. They also have the ManyChat integration that I referenced earlier, which the other ones don't have yet. So it's hard to beat it right now.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, thank you very much. And then my second question was, I know you were kind of talking about launch services and the negatives to it, but like a service like Viral Launch or another launch service, do you have any recommendations on, if you are going to go that route, how to make it more sustainable, right, for the long term? Because we've done several tests where, it might work in the first month or 2. You're on page 1, you've got these organic sales coming in, you're doing great, and then, that campaign's ended, and you slowly start dropping down, and the next thing you know, it all seems like it might have been a waste.
Yeah, the first thing is work on your on-page metrics, get into the data, figure out what your unit session percentage is. If you don't know what that is or what a good percentage is, then that's very important. You want to if you're not converting at 15%, 20%, then you've got a serious problem. In most cases, unless it's like a very expensive, like $100, $200 plus item where the conversion rates are lower. But under 100, 15% plus is what you should get as long as you're within like a launch and trying to stick. That goes up to like 40% usually if you're doing everything right. So how do you supplement it? You should be sticking as is, but if you're not, then I would invest in some influencer traffic from YouTube. Get some consistent stream of sales coming in from there if you can, closer to full price. So that also juices the algorithm a little bit. Another thing is make a product demo video on Facebook. You don't need to have a high budget, but what your goal is to get at least a couple sales a day if you can. Even if you're losing like $1 or $2 on the conversion, you're building up your audience for later use, and you're also helping your rank for that keyword stick just by spending a little bit extra on Facebook where your competitors aren't. So on page and then consistent off page traffic coming in.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Aaron, thanks for all of that. That was very, very insightful.
You're welcome.
I'm going to keep the thing going with 2 questions. The first question is, I'm sure you've heard a lot about where you talk about a lead magnet, using Amazon as a lead magnet, obviously generating landing page, capturing email address. But what about when a lot of sellers are talking about exporting the information they're getting from the customer data on the 3D side of Amazon, creating a lookalike audience from Facebook, and trying to siphon them off to their own websites? What's your take on that? Have you had experience with that? How successful is that? Just curious to get your thoughts on that.
Taking the traffic to buy on your website.
Yeah, so if you take the customer data, they give you the address, the zip code, you'll import it into a software program, you get like a 60% match, and then you try and market them on Facebook to your website. Have you done much of that?
Yeah, I've done that. It doesn't convert as well as Amazon because they have a history of buying on Amazon. That's their preference. But it does convert. I do have some audiences going directly to my website as well that I'm experimenting with. It works, but I actually have more success with lookalike audiences than sending my Amazon customers to my website because they have experience buying on Amazon. They want to buy on Amazon, so they might go to my website and drop off, and then it looks like my cost per acquisition is pretty bad, and they might be buying on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. There are some tools. There is one tool out there to check if they're buying on Amazon and import it here. It's called ZonTracker by Yev.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one way you can check your results a little bit better. So I've done it, but again, I focus more of my efforts on doing what I'm best at, and that's selling on Amazon right now, because I don't want to spread my efforts in too many directions and have my ranks drop as a result.
My last question, we talked a lot about off-traffic Amazon strategies, but just curious, what's your take about leveraging the best practices for marketing on Amazon? Do you have any tips of how you approach PPC to sponsor that headline that's differently than the average seller might? We talked about coupons, obviously. Are there any other marketing initiatives within Amazon's ecosystem that you would recommend us to be heavily using?
Yeah, coupons definitely help conversion rates. Like just at least having a minimal $1 or $2 coupon on all your ASINs can help. I use PPC. I spend quite a bit on PPC and Amazon Marketing Services as well for the ASIN placements. I forget what it's called, where it's actually the ad directly on the ASIN as well. So that performs pretty well. Do I have something different than what others are doing? I think just good PPC practice, running an auto campaign, looking at the data, adding negative keywords to your auto campaign as it runs, taking the winners and adding them to separate campaigns and trying to optimize your listing for those keywords. So you get a lot better performance for keywords if you're actually indexed or you use them in your listing somewhere. So I think that's probably one thing some people don't focus on enough. Making sure they're indexed for keywords that are in their PPC campaigns. And for people that do have access to Amazon Marketing Services where they can actually put their product on different ASINs, I think people don't spend enough time finding products that people are likely to buy after or before they buy their particular product. So you go on yasso.com, look at all the trees and branches that are connected, spend some time writing all the ASINs down and targeting them. That can help a lot too. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
I got one just to add to that. There's an idea out there that focusing on your questions and answers is really important to. A lot of people don't focus on that, and there's that section on your listing which is called question and answers. And if you actually get the questions written yourself and answer them, it really helps not only with conversion, but there's potentially some rankability in that as well. So the questions and answers on your page, make sure you get those answered and you put in decent answers within that as well.
To add to that, the questions and answers will actually rank in Google for long tail keywords as well.
Oh.
So if you spend time answering the questions well and inserting keywords that you want to rank for, that can sometimes pop up. So, example, what is the best way to use a yoga mat? That's a question, and you answer it well, that might rank in Google. People will go to read the question, products there. I can give you some organic traffic as well.
Nice.
Hey, so lately I've been experimenting much with my product through chatbot and Facebook, and so something that I'm noticing is like a lot of people actually end up subscribing to the bot, but never really actually purchasing the product. So it's not really like helping that much, but of course it can be a lot of factors. And I just wanted to ask, what is a good average number of people you should have on your subscribers bot to ensure like a safe, successful launch?
Yep. Qualified leads. So before you do a launch, you want to make sure they're interested in the product. So if it's they're clicking an ad and then they're subscribed, and then that's the audience pool, that will be different from just blasting your existing audience to an offer if they haven't expressed interest in the product already. So if they've expressed interest, I would, safely you want to double it. So 50% redemption is pretty safe if you're educating the customer with your ad a little bit, answering their questions, allowing them to check out the product before game day. 50% is pretty safe usually. Is that like what you're experiencing?
Yeah, and also, and I notice a lot of people click on the ad more if I'm offering like the product for 80% off, but then it's not really helping because I'm trying to get reviews, and like that it's only like I'm verified. So I need like some help. I feel like it's very I'm struggling with getting like the product for like a better price.
Yeah. So if you have an audience already, you let them know, on Tuesday I'm going to mark the price 50% off, and anyone who buys, I'll send them a $10 voucher for my Shopify site. That would count as a verified review when you follow up with them, because they're buying full price. There's no coupon. You're just marking the price down. There's no coupon.
Yeah. So you
mark it closer to break even, so you don't lose money. Obviously, it's an audience of customers that have rebought from you in the past. They buy at full price. You mark the price back up after that day is over. Follow up with them. Those will stick as reviews. That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, hello. I just have two questions. First question is going to be, when it comes to product selection, you were talking about Helium 10 and seller tools. I just want to know which one do you recommend, and also want to know what highlight of that software do you recommend to focus on?
So ZonGuru is putting on the event. They have good software as well.
check it out.
Check it out. I use Helium 10. Seller Tools is also accurate. I don't use it. So within that, if you're trying to find keywords, it's called the Cerebro tool. Import competitors, sort by exact search volume, see what the highest traffic keywords are, and you can also check within the tool where they're ranking. So the thing that a lot of people don't really look at is where are the competitors getting their traffic from? Are they from keywords or is it from off of Amazon? So if you pull up a competitor and they're ranked on page 1 for a pretty substantial number of large exact search volume keywords, then you can be pretty confident that there's sufficient market there, demand for that product. There are a lot of variables. Like I have like 11 factors I look at for product selection. And actually I have like a checklist that you can get. I can give you a link after we're done here. You can check that out. And I go over how to use some of the Helium 10 tools as well. It's free, so I'll give you the link.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I just have one more question.
Yeah, just one point on that. I think that he's brought up a really good point there, which is, all of the product research tools that are out there, we have some, Helium 10 has, they all have pretty similar data points. They may have unique things within it, like we have launch budgets and ways of assessing how much cash flow you need when you actually launch. But the most important thing there is when you're doing product research is understand the fundamentals from an 11-point checklist or a 7-point checklist, and look at all of those and look at not just one product but the space, and make sure you look across the board, which the tools are there to give you certain information, but you need to have a much better understanding of the softer skills of how you assess it across all of those points so that you choose the right product, that you don't choose a trendy product, etc. So make sure you look at a much bigger scale than just the specific data points of the tools. I think that's important.
Right. And can you offer some unique value to the marketplace? If you're not offering something that people want and the majority of people want, that's like a unique selling proposition, then you're likely going to have to compete on price with people that are already in the marketplace. So, find something that doesn't cost you too much that can improve the product, give people a little bit extra nudge in what they want. You have to really focus on the product. It's not just the data. Because if you focus on the data and you launch the same product as a competitor, it's going to be an ugly battle, usually.
Thank you so much. The second question is just regarding the photos. You were speaking, saying rendering photos. What does that exactly mean, and what exactly did you do to make sure you got the high quality photos from third party?
Yeah, so when you're vetting graphic designers, you send them examples of high quality renders, and you find those. The best place to find that is in the beauty and supplements category. So if you go for like the top 100 products in beauty, you can typically find something like argan oil, lavender essential oil. Somebody who has like a listing that's doing 500,000 units per day, and they've tested a lot of images usually to get to that point. So you'll see 3D renders for their bottles a lot of the time. And send that to a graphic designer and say, can you produce something that's as good as this, and can you show me evidence that you can? That's the biggest thing. But one website I found pretty helpful is 99designs.com. If you guys are familiar with that. It basically puts graphic designers against each other in a competition, and you don't even have to guarantee the price pool. So you basically say, this is worth $500, whoever I select is going to get $500. And you can give them feedback. You get like 10 to 20 people usually if you do your description right. You say, do a 3D render of my product. Here's a picture of it. Whichever one does the best job, you can narrow it down to finalists, and then you can find a good designer like that and then use them in the future as well. So competition is very good for graphic design because people really like to kind of cut corners, and they get surrounded by their own work and they don't realize how good the competition is. But when you have, you say you have 10 applicants, and you say message number 10, you say check out number 1, can you do that? And it's like making car dealerships compete with each other. Only helps.
Hey. My question is, what other channels do you use or have you used for advertising in organic that you've seen have had an effect? Has it been Pinterest, Outbrain, Taboola, any other?
I've spent quite a lot. I've invested a lot into Instagram. I have a VA that posts once per day on Instagram, and the value I get out of that is I get The biggest thing I get is I get images that I can advertise with. I can put on my listings. I can plug those into Facebook ads. And when my VA is posting on Instagram every day consistently, it's making my products top of mind to my subscribers. They'll go to Amazon and they'll search for me like that. It's hard to track, but I know it's having an effect. Also, when they post on Instagram, it goes over to Facebook automatically. So that's keeping my Facebook page updated as well. When I have a strong post, I can sponsor that on Instagram, or I can sponsor it on Facebook. Instagram will tell you like this post is getting 85% more engagement than your normal post. So maybe you throw 20 bucks at it, boost it, get some more engagement. That's pretty useful. You can also increase the reach of these posts by using Zapier to automatically post your Instagram post to Pinterest as well. So one post gets posted in 3 separate spots. So the cost is minimal and the reach is pretty large. That helps.
So I think, is this the last two? Okay, cool. That one as well.
Quick question for you here. Thank you for your time as well. What are your thoughts on now Amazon developing the ecosystem where brands are now developing a brand store and becoming more of gaining that brand authority, let's say, on Amazon? Obviously, for sellers, it's an afterthought, right? But for established brands, what are your thoughts on really getting that content up and running? And obviously, that's going to drive conversion too, but it's sort of like an extra click, right, to go to the brand store. Or perhaps if you're driving headline ads, you're driving them to the brand store, and the conversion there might be higher than just going to a single product page. But maybe talk about more about that brand store impact, and what are your thoughts, let's say, a year or two from now, because it's fresh, it feels fresh, right? And a lot of players are now developing their brand within the ecosystem, so I'm just trying to pick the brain on.
Yep. I mean, I think right now, because keyword-specific links work so well to boost ranking, we continue to drive traffic to those primarily. But when those stop working, there is a lot of benefit to the brand store. The one primary benefit I can see is they give you more insight into the analytics. You can see how many people are queuing the brand page within Amazon Marketing Services, right? They've given us an ability to use a UTM parameter, which you're probably familiar with, you're shaking your head. You can insert that into links, and then when those convert, that will also track as a conversion. And I think that's probably the direction they're going for traffic. They want people to drive it to the brand store. I mean, it looks like they're spending more time investing and opening that up to more people. But you don't get the keyword benefit right now, so generally I don't send much traffic there.
And I think you can send your HSA ads to your brand store front as well. So obviously, if you have a bunch of products, it's a good idea to send there because they can see the scope of your brands and convert more of your products there as well.
Yeah, it's good for HSA ads for sure. Because the other option is just a generic list of 3 products, right? Yeah. Cool.
Thanks, Dan. I have 2 questions. First one is, what are the top reasons for brands or shops to be taken down from Amazon? What have you witnessed? And I've heard like there has been issues with like trademarks and things of that sort. I don't know if it's like just for fashion or other products, but what have you seen?
Quite a few people I've worked with have had trademarks on their packaging. That's created issues. They've been pulled for that and had to amend their packaging. The main reason I've seen people get suspended, but it's actually a temporary suspension, is review manipulation using Facebook review groups. They still really, when Amazon goes down on somebody, it's usually review related. They don't seem to really care much about anything else right now. So as I said earlier, you have sellers basically hijacking unrelated ASINs, selling a supplement on a lunchbox, and they make a couple $1,000s, they get removed, and then they pop up again the next week under a different brand name. So seems reviews are the only thing they're really punishing right now.
Hijacking a page is not really against Amazon, right?
No, but when you sell an unrelated product, Like you sell a supplement on a lunchbox, I would argue that's against terms. But if you sell a supplement on a supplement, that's fine. If they're brand registered and they don't permit you to do that, they can kick you off. But Amazon allows that. That's how their marketplace is built.
Second question, where do you find your influencers? I have a network of influencers for all types of demographics, but where do you usually find them?
I don't use a tool. I do manual searches based on. I do work with Instagram influencers as well. That's just based on who's getting engagement for related products. We reach out to them and we send them free products. I don't use a tool for that because I find the tools that aggregate influencers, their influencer quality is usually lower. Their audience is desensitized to brand promotions. They see them promoting different products every day. I get the most value out of micro influencers that don't promote brands very often.
They usually have the best audiences.
Yeah. I don't think you can really automate that. You can have tools that help you identify them, but as far as like clicking a button and sending a payment and then it's all good to go, I don't think that it's really possible to have the best results. So it's a lot of manual work with VAs. Okay.
I've had quite a bit of success in the past with Reddit when it came to sending traffic to my own website. And I was curious, did you fiddle around with Reddit? Did you have any success or advice with how to use Reddit as a traffic source?
I didn't ever use it for Amazon. I used it for something else, but it was one of those business ideas I had a long time ago. So it wasn't really sustainable. I can tell you the strategy if you want to know it, but yeah, so there's this website that where you can hire micro transaction workers for like a penny per transaction, and you can post on Reddit. It's kind of, don't do this, it's against Reddit's terms, but you can pay them a penny to upvote something on Reddit. So that's a way to make a Reddit post kind of like take off of page one, get a lot of traffic quickly. I did that in the past, but I don't anymore.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, last question there.
Thanks, guys. I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, or I think at least. It might be really, really in-depth, but using a competitor's ASIN for marketing, have you noticed a conversion rate when it comes to that?
Could you elaborate?
I think it might be Amazon Marketing Services, but you'll be able to target a specific ASIN and have your brand show up.
Yeah.
And it's a two-part question, but I'll let you.
So how do you have to be brand registered, I think, and that's through Vendor Express is how most people gain access. So if you don't have that, then I'm not aware of any way to really get in right now, unless, there might be a way like there's like a Kindle network or something. There's a couple different options to get approved for Vendor Express, I think, but they phased it out. So I don't think you can get, maybe is there any way to get in right now? It's just people.
No, I think it's just people who are grandfather, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so basically how that works is you just, you put it in ASIN and you select a product of yours that you want to put on that and you bid. It's kind of like PPC. And you can title it however you want. You can say, customers prefer this exercise band, and you put an image to yours, and you're advertising on the listing that's an exercise band. So it kind of makes people think that Amazon's recommending that as the preferred exercise band, so that can help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be able to target the bundle if you have a bundled product? Would you be able to target the bundled item so that they see your whole listing?
Like trying to get the frequently bought together box. Yeah, you can target your own ASINs for sure.
Okay.
That's what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. You bring the one as well. Awesome! Wow, that's. I'm actually commending you guys on some really deep questions there. I think obviously a lot of you guys here are super great sellers, and glad to have you guys here. So. We put this on once a month, and if you guys go to the Seller Insights Facebook page and sign up there, we'll announce the next one middle of next month. But we've got a couple of great guys lined up, and thanks Ryan for being here. That was amazing.
It was awesome. Everybody that showed up, I'm really surprised at the turnout. Thanks guys, I really appreciate it. So I guess I'll plug what I do right now.
Absolutely. I was gonna say it for you and say hey, but you go for it.
So I mentioned the checklist for product selection. I give that away at this link as well. So bit.ly/FBA training. You can watch my 90-minute presentation. I go over a bunch of stuff I do, and I have a free product selection checklist you can get there as well. So it's bit.ly/FBA training, all lowercase. Bitly for some reason cares about caps. I'm not sure why.
Awesome.
Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I've checked out your stuff, man. You and obviously from today, you definitely know it. So thanks for being here, for sharing it. Couple of other announcements. So ZonGuru, the software, check it out. We have over 12 tools now across everything: product research, listing optimization, email automation, a bunch of tools there. So if you go to 14days.zonguru.com, you can get a free trial there, and you can get a 15% off the first 3 months. So it's a pretty good deal from that perspective. Just go and check it out. That's for our full packages for all of the tools. We do have, and it was mentioned a lot today, which is the very first product differentiator tool in the Amazon space. And as you guys know, product differentiation is absolutely critical now to your success. So basically what this tool does is called the love-hate tool. And essentially what it does is you can put in any keyword search you want, and it will pull in the first 50 listings on that keyword, and then it will use semantic word clouds to pull together all the phrases that people love and hate about a product when looking at the reviews. So that manual process that we do today, where we go in and actually look at each ASIN and each review and try and understand what do people actually connect with, what do they want, what don't they want, we do that in a couple of seconds. And it gives you these word clouds. So it's a really quick way of being able to assess how can I differentiate my product, how can I launch something that's unique within the space. And that is actually available a la carte at the moment. So you can just literally go in and I think it's get.zonguru.com/love-hate, and that's $1 for the first month, and then it's $10 a month after that to use the tool. So it's a launch promotion for us. And definitely check that out. It's the first in the space, so pretty excited about that. And then finally,
I also have a Facebook group. Amazon FBA Marketing Secrets is what it's called, so you can search that on Facebook.
There's no more secrets. You gave them all the way today, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks very much. Thanks, Ryan.
Well, thank you.